Yo, Elliot. Yo, so today's question comes from my bro, Jerron. He goes on to say, yo, Elliot, squatting and deadlifting with low back pain, a very stiff type pain. So Jerron wants to know what's he got to do in order to do those amazing compound lifts for growing stronger, building muscle, but without the back pain. So first, I would like to refer you to a resource that I think would be of value to you, Dr. Stuart McGill. He's got a great book called Back Mechanic. Watch some of his YouTube interviews just to kind of get a glean on what he's talking about in regard to helping athletes heal their back pain. He also has a really good book with Brian Carroll, who's a world record powerlifting, world record holder in the squat. I think he squatted like 1,060 pounds, something ridiculous like that. But he did that after he broke his freaking back, and he went and saw Dr. Stuart McGill, and they came up with another book together too that's more specific to athletes. I'm gonna give you the gist of what McGill did with Brian Carroll, and what McGill does with his athletes. He works with lots of athletes, Olympic athletes, pro ball players, and all that kind of stuff that come to him with back pain. And a big part of what he aims to establish after assessing the situation is whether or not that athlete knows how to stiffen and hold tight the muscles in his core. You see me, I'm shaking right now because I'm doing this. Stiffening up here, right? Because check it out. There's a strange thing with the body, right? So you say that you have a lot of stiffness in the back. You gotta be mindful of the fact that you have a spine back there. You got a bone back there, right? So if I'm cutting in half like this, back here, right in the middle here, there's a bone. And so what's great about bone? What's amazing about bone? Muscles could latch right onto it. So you got all these muscles latched onto the bone and then start moving their way out and around. And there's fascia that does that too. Out and around. So you got your lats that attach to the bone up there. You got your hip flexor that attaches to the bone in your spine. You got a whole bunch of muscles that attach to the bone in the spine. So the spine is like an anchoring point. And when you got that anchoring point, those muscles can stiffen much easier. Here, there's no anchoring point. There's no anchoring point in here. What do we have in here? Softness, right? You got your colon, right? You got your liver. You got viscera in here. You just got organs in here. There's no muscle in here. There's no bone in here. So the muscle doesn't necessarily have something real close by to anchor on, right? If you had a spine in the front of your body, well, of course, that'd be weird. But if you had a spine in the front of your body, like say from your sternum down to your pelvic floor, then all these muscles, they could just latch right on. And then guess what? You'd have even stiffness through here and through here, right? It'd be the same in the back as it is in the front, but it's not. And so that means that you gotta do a little bit of extra abdominal stiffening exercises, training the abdominals a little bit more, particularly in a way that helps you brace throughout the core when you're doing deadlifts, when you're doing squats, you're doing things of that nature. And so some exercises that help you with that bracing are things like planks, right? You wanna practice planks, front planks, side planks, right? Taking a barbell from the cable and staying stiff and pulling it down like this, right? So you have to stiffen here. One of the things that I think I'm gonna start adding to my routine, because I think it's probably very useful. I know it's very useful because my uncle used to tell me about it, and he was a martial artist, were exercises where you would, remember I was doing this? Where you would stiffen in order to brace against impact, right? So one of the things my uncle told me they used to do in martial arts is that you lay on your back, and then somebody would bounce a medicine ball, boom, 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 right? Think about that, like if you're laying on your back and you're just bouncing a medicine ball, or you just standing here like this, like a boxer, and you just have somebody, not killing you, not trying to slug you so that you pass out and keel over, but just, right, all throughout, down, below, up here, boom. I have to brace, otherwise my organs are gonna bruise. Bracing. So Stuart McGill recommends exercises like the 4-point horse stance exercises, right? You know, like cat, cow, what the hell they call those things? They're like kind of yoga movements. You're on your knees and then you're on your hands and you raise your hand, you raise your foot, and you bring it back together. A lot of stuff like that. This is assuming that you don't have any frontal plane imbalances, right? Like, because if you have one hip higher than the other, then of course there's gonna be a whole lot of torsion going on. I'm just giving you some basic shit to think about. If you do the assessment, I believe you do the assessment in back mechanic, he shows you how to decide whether or not you have any kind of torsion, left to right imbalances. But the basic idea is that you want even bracing throughout your abdominals so that you could basically have like a natural weight belt here, which will, if this is stronger, you can just imagine, take a lot of the pressure off the muscles that are anchoring into your spine, right? 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 And these are, look, I'm just glossing the surface here. I'm just touching this iceberg, tip of the iceberg. You know, there'll be need for consideration as to whether or not your lats are tight, your hip flexors are tight. You got a whole set of muscles in your abdominals, transversus abdominis, rectus abdominis, internal, external oblique, pelvic floor. There's a lot going on there that you want to consider. Another good resource that might help you anatomically, biomechanically, and practically in trying to strengthen and train those muscles is Paul Chek's course, Scientific Core Conditioning, Scientific Core Training. And I believe he pulls a lot of his information from Stuart McGill as well. So those are two good resources that would support each other in supporting you in getting rid of that back pain so that you can lift heavy and grow stronger. Done.